Hello, hey, welcome. Glad you could join me today. Today we're going to be doing a quick rundown of my pedal board that I have that I use for live gigs and recording. It's nothing crazy. Well, maybe it is. It's got a lot of pedals. But yeah, we'll do a quick run through. Most of them are pretty standard pedals. But yeah, let's dive into it. So first of all, today, running with my Starcaster. It's a Fender Starcaster, the modern player one. And it's kind of a hollow body sort of Fender thing that they made based on a 70s guitar. It's a reissue. And I think these ones are actually rarer than the original 70s ones, because I've tried to find them on Reverb and eBay. And it's a lot harder to find these than it is to find the original 70s ones. So this might be a rare thing, but don't quote me on that. If anyone knows, just say it in the comments below if you know whether or not it's rare. All right, so let's go through the pedal board. Starting on the far right, we have a Vox wah. Pretty sure it's just a Dunlop wah with the Vox name slapped on it. But I think it sounds better than Dunlop wahs. It probably sounds exactly the same. I don't know. If it's the same, mention it in the comments. Tell me. But let's take a listen to that one, see how it sounds. That's the wah. I'm not really much of a wah player, so that's the best you're going to get. Next we have the whammy pedal, which is probably the most complicated pedal on the board. This one's got millions of different settings. It's actually, I think, I want to say the third or fourth edition of the whammy pedal. So it's got a whole bunch of other stuff compared to the original one, which was just sort of the classic whammy. But this thing kind of covers, if you want to do your classic Tom Morello solo, something like this. This also has a whole plethora of other settings, like you can go down an octave or two. So if you wanted to slide down, you could say turn your guitar into a bass. Also has a dive bomb setting, which is really good for, classic dive bomb chords. And then it has a whole plethora of harmonies you can do. One of the ones I like to do the most is just the octave. So you get that sort of extra layer in there. So either lower octave or the higher octave. This one, also being one of the newer versions, has a chord feature. So unlike the classic one, it has the classic setting as well. The classic one has a more of a digital kind of crunchy sound, whereas the chord one, when you switch it to this, you actually get nicer chords. It's a lot cleaner sounding, so I use it occasionally for playing power chords if I'm too lazy to play power chords. One of the songs I actually use on in a cover band I play in, we do, there's an Offspring song we do, and it's really hard to play properly, so I just use it for the power chords. I go. But it's got a whole bunch of different harmonies you can do with this pedal. It's pretty crazy. The last thing it has is it has a bit of like a chorusing effect. So it's got a deep and a shallow chorus. Let's take a listen to that. So this is sort of the deep chorusing effect. All right, let's move on. Next pedal in the line is the classic Big Muff. This is the little Big Muff Pi, so it's not really the classic Big Muff, but basically the same. It's your just classic, really heavy overdrive. This is one I like to use when I play, like, say, a Weezer song or something. It's got a really good. So that's that classic Big Muff. The next is an Ibanez Tube Screamer. Another distortion, this one I kind of consider as my sort of main distortion I use on a lot of stuff. It's not too distorted, but it's got a nice bite to it. I also like to occasionally use this one in tandem with the Big Muff. It gets a nice, really almost broken up, kind of bit crushed sound to it in some ways. And last in line of the distortion pedals is the OCD. This one's sort of just your standard kind of, not too heavily distorted, but just a nice bit of crunch to it. This one I also use on a lot of stuff too when I want to have the guitar bite through, especially live, but the guitar sort of bite through the sound but not sound too dirty. Next one we have in the line is the Electro Harmonix boost pedal, which just gives the sound a bit more power, a bit more volume, a bit more saturation. Again, one of those things for in a live setting where you kind of just cut through everything else, cut through all the noise. So let's take a listen to that. So this is without it. And then. And the last pedal for the bottom row is just your standard Boss TU3 chromatic tuner. I really just use it for tuning and muting. I know it does a lot more, but that's all I use it for. And it does it perfectly. All right, let's jump to the top row now. Right now I have this rig set up just running just through the amp into the input. I normally run my effects as an effects loop through my amp, but the way I've got it set up now, we're just going from the tuner into the mod tone tremor pedal, which is a tremolo pedal. And this guy I don't really touch too much. Like I'll use it occasionally, kind of just leave it at sort of a faster tremolo. I kind of like that sort of fast trem sound. Yeah, something really nice and sweet for those kind of moments when you want to add a bit of extra flavor to the tone, but not really play too much more. Beside that is the Phase 90 classic MXR pedal. If you know what a phaser is, it does exactly that. This one I'll mess with the settings a lot because I like to have it faster or slower sometimes. So yeah, let's take a listen. Here's the faster with this one. As well, sometimes I like to use it for a big sweeping phase. Basically good on chords, just really nice sort of to add some depth to everything. Alright, after the modulation effects, the next thing we have is all my delays and reverbs. First one is the Memory Toy from Electro Harmonix. It's a pretty simple delay. I mainly use it for a very quick sort of slapback delay. I really like the sound of the slapback on it, so I keep it set for that most of the time. Next I have the MXR Carbon Copy, which is also an analog delay pedal. I usually leave it set for a much higher delay. It's sort of your classic sort of big delay sound. I kind of just leave it for that, so I have that option there anytime I need it. I also like the way that it feeds back, so I'll occasionally crank up the regen on it and get a really like crazy delay feedback sound. So let's take a listen to that. And that brings us to our last pedal. The last pedal on the board is the Electro-Harmonix Holy Grail. It's just your classic sort of reverb pedal. It has 3 settings for a spring, hall, and flurb reverb. We'll go through all 3 of them. So let's start with the spring. The next setting is the hall reverb, which is a much bigger reverb than the spring. Just very, very echoey. And the last setting on this one is called flurb, which is just weird. Maybe I'll turn up a bit so you can hear it more. I feel like with this effect, if you're going to use the flurb, you should crank it. All right, well, that does it for the rig rundown of my board. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. There's a few things on some of the pedals I didn't go through, and if you have any comments or questions about those, leave it down below. I'll answer them. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next one.